he booked Talarico on the Late Show, and then
Right.
and did the interview, and then CBS said you cannot air this interview
Because Brendan Carr
Yes.
of the FCC
Right.
is trying to reinstate the
Equal time.
Fair,
thing.
yeah.
Which is a fiction.
Of course it's a fiction.
It's not only a fiction. It's, I think, since 1983.
Yeah.
None of that is applicable.
It's not.
It's all only by, like, gentleman's handshake. or
And by the
whatever.
way, it not being applicable is the reason that Rush Limbaugh and the entire
Yes.
right-wing
Yeah.
media empire
Yeah.
percolated up
But
from
if you
the
remember
bowels of hell.
the old
Yes.
1970s Weekend Update with the Jane, You Ignorant Slut, the
Right.
counterpoint point, that was
That's where
equal
it came
time.
from.
Right.
That was
Right.
equal time.
It's Have I Got News for Your Ears, the podcast extension of the Have I Got News for You cinematic universe with me, Michael Ian Black. Have I Got News for You producers, Jim Biederman, Jodi Lennon, joined this week by very special guest, actor, comedian, writer, Anthony Atamanuik. Anthony was first out of the gate.
Yeah.
First out of the
Yeah.
gate with the Trump impression, and for my money,
Yeah,
still the best.
Yeah.
There's no question. No question.
And he had the President Show on Comedy Central, and now he's got a brand new show on iHeartRadio called Good Science,
Yeah.
where you, instead of playing Donald Trump crazy person, you're playing RFK crazy person.
That's right. Now it's RFK. That's how it is. My favorite was when he said the other. He's like, "I'm used to germs because I did a lot of cocaine off
Yeah.
of toilet
Toilet
seats."
seats.
And I was like, "I've said that."
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's another character
we
I
have a job for
connect
you.
with.
We have a
Yeah.
job for you in this heading up.
When
the
he
CDC.
said that, I felt pretty good about the fact that a routine activity for me, if I'm doing stand-up and I go to bed and I'm eating M&Ms or something as I'm drifting off to sleep the night before, what
That's
happens is...
counterproductive.
the M&Ms or the
Well,
sleeping
no,
on-
I've taken all kinds of sleeping pills, and so in the morning when I wake up, there might be some M&Ms and things on the floor of
In
the hotel
vomit.
room. Yeah, and I will pick them up and eat them off the hotel carpet.
Sure.
He
yeah.
he vomits up in the middle of the night.
Oh, well,
It's
who
terrible.
doesn't?
It's terrible.
I don't think you could be a good stand-up if you're not vomiting in the middle of the night.
Right.
At least once
Yeah.
a week. At least once a week.
Yeah,
I hear
absolutely.
you.
Jim, why don't you kick things off? Usually
Well-
what we do is we talk about the news over the last few
and
days.
usually when we're talking about the news, we always talk about.
So Hillary Clinton said in an interview today that she and her husband are getting pulled into the Epstein matter to divert attention from you and that your administration has something to hide. What's your response?
I have nothing to hide. I've been exonerated. I have nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. They went in hoping that they'd find it and found just the opposite. I've been totally exonerated. In fact, Jeffrey Epstein was fighting that I don't get elected with some author, a sleazebag, by the way. And I've been totally exonerated. No, they're getting pulled in, and that's their problem. I don't know. They're going to have to see what happens. But I watched her in Munich, and she seriously has Trump derangement syndrome.
Do you think that she should publicly testify?
You know, I've been totally exonerated on Epstein, and it's really interesting because they've been pulled in. Think of it. They've been pulled in. Clinton and many other Democrats have been pulled in, yeah.
Yeah.
The exonerated thing. Like, he just, the word he learned, and I don't think he even knows what it means.
Oh, I think come on. He knows what exonerated means. He's been on trial enough times.
He's been exonerated a number of times, so he must know what it means.
According
but
to him,
do you
he's
think you
been
understand-
exonerated.
Excuse me, sorry. He knows the definition means it's good, but do you think he knows that the process of being exonerated, like,
Oh,
it just
no.
can't be
No.
right?
No. I think that the big mistake people make about him is thinking that there's anything more than the most root behavior from the construction of his persona in the 70s and 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is sue people. You sue them to delay things. That's it.
Yeah.
Everything is just lawsuits.
Yeah.
And the other one is figure out ways to pad your coffers so that you look like you have more. And then the final one is, am I in trouble? Am I not in trouble?
Right.
And those are just the three things that are always going on
Right.
in various permutations, right?
And do you think he stopped mentally developing in the mid to or late 70s? Because everything seems very 70s. Oil.
Yes.
It's a very 70s thing, right?
He's a product of the 70s and the
Yeah,
80s.
yeah, yeah.
He is, and to me, it's the 1980s ran for president and won.
Right.
And it is our president. when
Then
people
why isn't the music more interesting?
Well, it's the 70s and 80s, right?
It is though.
YMCA.
Gloria. I'm going to say that Gloria blew
Gloria's
my
a good-
mind.
Michael Crawford receiving the Presidential Medal of Freedom,
I mean, that doesn't
which is so of the moment.
I still get teary-eyed when I think of that.
It was a beautiful night.
when they played Gloria January 6th, and I used to play Gloria every week before the show for the audience 3 years prior. And moments like that where I was like, oh God, oh no. I was plugged in at a
There's
level
something
that
wrong. There's something
I
wrong.
didn't realize. You don't even realize, like, oh, so he's just in some ways very wistful about
Wait,
the 80s.
you were playing the Laura Branigan song Gloria, or you were
I was
playing I Will
playing-
Survive by Gloria Gaynor?
No,
who
I was
received
playing-
the
Gloria, he
Kennedy
loves
Center.
Gloria. He loves
He
both.
He loves both. He loves Brannigan.
loves both, but
he's
he
a
loves
he's a Brannigan head.
We play Brannigan. I'm a Brannigan.
Brannigan.
Yeah, I
Brand
am
fan.
too, I
A
have
brand-
to say.
A Branna fan?
A bran muffin.
A bananagram?
Oh.
A bananagram.
I said Presidential Medal of Freedom. I meant to say the Kennedy Center honor.
Yes.
Just correcting
Yes, yes,
myself.
yes.
But it's now
Michael
shut
Crawford.
down
You don't want to get those letters.
Well,
for
yes.
renovations.
Is that happening now, or is it July? I thought it was the July 4th.
July 4th,
They're shutting it down.
shutting it down on July 4th.
They are. They're shutting down July 4th
That's
on the 250th.
Yeah,
That's
it
supposed to
can't
have
celebrate.
meaning. It's supposed to have meaning for that.
It does now.
It does.
I'm doing the final performance. I'm doing all of Spoon River, all the characters.
Oh, have you added a little like stroke thing to it?
Oh, now you know how you have your like favorite, like Bob Dylan has like albums in like the 90s
Yeah.
that you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
And people go, well, that's because Bob finally is just doing what he wants to do, and
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
That's how I feel like my Trump is. When I even do him, it's mine. I don't even care if people think it's accurate or interesting anymore. But mine is he's just so bring me to Epstein's video. You see Woody and Epstein holding the little.
See, this
painting?
is why you're on the cutting edge. Nobody else doing Trump has him stroked out yet. Anthony's the first stroked out Trump that I've seen. It's very impressive.
Let me tell you something. Bring over the Coca-Cola. I don't see it. Sir, it's right in front of you. I don't see it. His right brain isn't functioning anymore. I have visual
He's got no depth perception.
JD, my son, come in here. You're my son, right? Let's have sex. JD, let's have sex. What do you think? Sure, sir. I'm sure, like,
Sir.
sir, I'm sure he constantly is like, Mike Vance, everybody. It's like, it's...
Do you think he went to Plato's retreat? And then he must have gone
Oh,
to Plato's retreat.
Plato? Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
They're
And he ate from the
probably-
seafood platter, too. He was like, shrimp.
You know there are matchbooks all over his house from all those
He's
places.
got a huge, oversized sifter
Fishbowl.
glass.
Why don't you,
Oh,
Jim?
yeah.
You're the oldest one here. Why don't you explain Plato's
But yeah,
retreat?
tell everybody what
Yes,
Plato's
tell us
retreat
all.
was
Plato's
about.
retreat
We're gathered
was a
around.
sex club for swingers. I
Yeah,
think,
swingers in the 80s, right?
right? No, I think it started in the 70s. I don't know if was it open in the 80s.
Listen how you don't know.
I never went, but it was I think considered fancy.
I think it was sort of high end if such a thing
Yeah.
could exist. But was it the kind of thing you could just show up at?
Well, Buck
don't
Henry did attend one time.
Oh, he did.
Okay.
I know that.
He's classy.
Buck Henry's very classy. I mean, I've seen photos of it. It does not look classy. It looks sort of like
Yeah.
human trafficking.
Yeah.
In the sense that it's a series of very thin, sort of like camp bunk mattresses on a floor in the basement, which was where the sex happened.
Easy to clean.
And then the second floor was the like the Studio
Where the
54
seafood platter was.
with the seafood platter was, and it was a lot of Upper West Siders
Yes,
and
yes.
and folks who would be going there.
It
and I think it was like a
carnal
club.
knowledge.
I imagine,
without
but the women
without
there
it-
must
without
have
Mike Nichols.
must have
Without
been
the knowledge.
The
Without the
women there
knowledge.
must have been stocked like freshwater fish or something. Like no, there's no women that are showing up there voluntarily, right? They're
I don't know.
They're being
it was
paid.
a swingers thing.
Most orgies, most sex activity is ugly and disgusting.
Yeah.
It's
Have you seen me making love? Because I do it.
I have.
It's gorgeous when I do it.
I have spent a lot of time building a fleet of aerial drones that cruise where you live.
The woods of Connecticut.
Yeah, in the woods of Connecticut.
You have all those windows.
Well, we do. We have a lot of windows.
Well, you live in the glass house
That's
from
right.
the movie The Glass House.
Yes.
And the cover of Billy Joel's album.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pressure.
Yeah.
Glass houses, it was called.
Glass
Glass
houses.
Yeah.
I also
Sleeping with
lived
a television
behind,
on.
ironically, a nylon curtain, just like the Billy Joel
Wow,
album.
that's
Yeah,
really
It is
interesting.
very strange. And I'm always feeling under pressure.
And you are.
And I
And
was
do you have
born
a
in
turnstile?
Allentown.
Don't you have a
I do have a
turnstile in order to
turnstile.
enter
Yeah.
your house?
I went to a sex club with somebody who is still a celebrity, oddly enough. Kennedy from
Oh, yes.
not RFK,
No, but from
the
Fox.
libertarian.
Foxes.
Yes.
Fox's.
Fox
And
is
we were on
Kennedy.
MTV at the
Nee
same
MTV,
time.
yeah.
we were friendly, and for some reason she took me to. It was called the Vault. It was an S&M club
Yep.
on the
There
west
was
side.
one called the Hellfire Club, which was down,
Right.
which was also like that. I went to that once.
And it was exactly. It sounds just like Plato's Ritual. It was
Yeah.
disgusting.
Yeah.
It was disgusting.
Yeah.
And so you got to think
Like I had to force myself
To
to be entered.
to get erect.
to be entered.
To
Yeah,
get
no,
erect?
it was everything. You know, it was. I was bent over. I
Boy.
was fully lubed. It was just a lot of effort. You know, for not that much reward.
Mm.
In the 90s in LA, I went to a private sex party that I was invited to by someone who worked at Jim Henson with me. And
the creature shop.
The Creature Shop. They worked in the Creature Shop.
Yeah.
And it was all people dressed like
Muppets.
Muppets.
Oh wow!
But this party was, that's when I learned that as sort of ribbled a life that I led as a young man that was not in the docket for me.
Yeah.
I'm too plain Jane. I just
Yeah.
was like, I can't, this is too much. It's too much. It felt like gym. It felt like gym class.
Yep.
I was like, I don't like gym and I don't like this.
Hold that thought. And while we're on break, go just hit the join thing. Hit the join thing.
Yeah.
And we're back. What were you saying?
Where did he go? Where did he go?
So I think
Is your name Jay Tapper because you tap dance?
that would be the most amazing clip in the world. But this is the one we have.
What does she mean when she says electing the right leaders?
By the way, I'll get to that clip, but it's Kristi Noem talking about voting. We'll play that in a minute.
That's not really immigration enforcement or DHS responsibility.
I don't know. That'd be a question for the secretary. If I had to guess, probably that only those legally eligible to vote would vote. But I have not talked to the secretary about those statements. That'd be something she'd have to answer.
Where's my $50,000? I'll tell you,
but you got to pay me.
You gotta give me a bag of money. You told me I got a bag of money when I do this.
Here is Kristi Noem discussing
Dog murderer.
excuse me.
Yeah, sorry.
Dog murderer Kristi Noem and
But-
former
and what's
South
crazy
Dakota
is-
beauty queen.
That's no longer the worst thing about her.
It's really not the
It's
worst.
true.
Thing
Like
about
coming into the
It's up
administration,
there.
it. It's up there.
it's
though.
up there, sure, but
Yes.
Yeah.
but
you know,
It's an essence.
you know who doesn't agree with you? Cricket.
Yeah, the
Cricket
doggy.
doesn't agree with you.
poor Cricket.
Its name was Cricket.
A dog's name was Cricket?
How do you shoot a dog named Cricket?
It wasn't
do
a
you
good
shoot
dog.
any
Jim.
dog?
It wasn't a good dog.
Right, because
Jim.
it had.
Bad dog. It ate a book.
Well,
and Kristi was going to
wouldn't care-
burn it.
She wouldn't care about
Kristi's
that.
like, I was going to burn that book and you fucking ate it.
Bam!
Cricket.
I think here is her discussing. Well, I'll just let her do it.
And elections is another one of those critical infrastructure responsibilities that I have as well. And I would say that many people believe that it may be one of the most important things that we need to make sure we trust is reliable, and that when it gets to election day that we've been proactive to make sure that we have the right people voting, electing the right leaders to lead this country through the days that we have, knowing that people can trust it.
Nice.
It's very suspicious.
Look, the election's going to be
Stolen.
fucked up and stolen.
That's right.
I don't want anyone upset about it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good to cover your bases.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
they're
mean, I-
seeding the story.
Well,
They're prepping us.
yeah. Why are you upset? We told you this.
It's not that all the polls were wrong and Republicans not only retained the House and the Senate, but added to their lead. It's simply that the right
The right
people voted.
people voted.
That's all.
And you just had to swap out R and W, and you've got it.
Swap out
wait.
R and W.
R4W. The white people voted.
Got it. You'd have to spell it an entirely different way.
No. Yes.
For those of us not on liquid acid right now, what are you talking about?
Yes. The Isle of Wight. Yes.
Yes, that's what I meant.
Yes,
Only
yes.
the people in the Isle of Wight vote. They're very conservative.
Now, Kristi Noem also in trouble because of the Corey Lewandowski.
It's a great story.
The heated blankets.
It's a great story.
They're having sex, right?
Yes.
Well, I'll just say allegedly.
Well, there's
Allegedly.
so,
Okay, yeah.
I thought they were out with their relationship. Are they not?
No. They're both
married.
I know, but
But they're also out with their relationship.
They're not out with their relationship.
Doesn't
They've
he
denied
come
it.
and go from her
has he
townhouse
denied it?
with a overnight bag?
She's denied that there's any hanky-panky going on. What are you talking about?
Hanky-panky?
We're both professionals.
Was she totally exonerated?
I was exonerated.
Oh, okay.
And so they were exonerating under the same heated blanket?
That's right. My understanding is that they were at some event. They were in a Coast Guard plane. I think they had to switch planes.
Yes.
In switching planes, they accidentally left the heated blanket on the first plane. The Coast Guard pilot did not remember to take it to the second plane. Upon discovery of this,
was fired.
while they were in midair, apparently.
He was fired?
He was fired by Corey Lewandowski, who has no power to fire anybody.
Right.
And then they realized we can't fire him because there's nobody to.
They fired the pilot in midair.
This is what I read this morning.
All right, I'm out of here.
I mean, he should have really taught them a lesson about what happens when you don't have a pilot.
Just a little sis-sass.
One can understand why she would be upset about the blanket because her whole job is to cover things up.
Oh,
Come on.
my God.
Come on.
What's with the fucking blanket? In my brain, it's like that shitty blanket you get on a plane. Why do you care?
No, it was a heated blanket. It was a
I didn't
nice
know it was
blanket.
heated.
It was a sharper image blanket, Jim.
It was a sharper image?
Sharper image or Brookstone. I'm not sure which, but one of them.
A sharper image heated blanket. Do you know how much that costs?
$39.
Yes, $39. I just couldn't figure out why would that be such a big deal? You're right.
I think it's because
you're
there's
right.
material on the blanket.
Right.
You think somebody's going to be testing that for evidence of an affair? Is that what you think?
I think...
Because I'm guessing there's already plenty of evidence of an affair.
Yeah, you mean the evidence being they're having an affair?
Yeah.
If they stopped and tested every fluid, there would be there aren't enough minutes in the day.
Corey's mom washes the plane blankets when they land.
And it makes
she
sense.
would have found it.
She still washes the
It's another group of people that were really libidinal and sort of having all kinds of sexual dynamics in their political leadership.
No.
The Nazis.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Wasn't a large percentage of the upper Nazi echelon homosexual? At least at one point?
They were, bi-curious.
I think they were bi-curious more than anything else. The interesting thing about the Nazi leadership was also that the rationale for fucking around was that they were just fucking with pure Aryan women and increasing the race.
Yeah, of course.
Which was the excuse why, honey, I can't tonight. They were open with their wives
That
about
was
it.
one of their favorite sitcoms in Germany, Honey, I Can't Tonight. It was it started on film and then moved to television.
Oh. Wait, they started filming it and then they moved it to Kinescope?
Yes.
That's weird.
Yeah. Very strange.
Yeah.
They were filming it and not airing it for years.
Early on, I think in the first term, there's like, well, you'd say Hitler. Oh, hang on a minute. Let's not go that far. Or fascist. Oh, hey, whoa. Which I never understood because fascism is actually a form of political ideology. So
Which exists
and
all over.
And
it's
it
not
exists.
like just in
you're
Germany.
You're not automatically Hitler because you're a fascist.
Right.
You could be, but
you're
not.
Hitler adjacent.
No, but not even that. My point is there's fascism as a movement as a thing. And there was that weird, I think on the left to be like, well, hold on, let's not say that yet. And can we say it now? Can we?
Yeah. I mean, here's the only thing I'll say. I always see them, and even back when I did the show, as Hussein and his sons.
Right. My point with the Nazis. Take Hitler out of it, if you will, for a minute. The Nazis.
It's kind of hard to take Hitler out of the Nazis.
Also.
Yeah, they wanted to.
They wanted to take him. They didn't like Hitler.
I'm just talking about the upper echelon group who probably thought he was, that guy's nuts. Is that they were the fashion, the fucking around, the weird.
They were occultists. Also,
they were big occultists.
Exactly.
Yes.
They believed. I think Himmler believed he wanted to build like a zombie race of fighters that would never that you could just keep sending back into war.
Well, that's why Mengele was doing all that experimenting to try to control people.
Well, that's what he liked to say.
And then they all came to the United States after the war and
Right.
then started
Made
working for the
rockets.
CIA.
And made
And
rockets.
They also went to
The moon.
the moon. They also went to Madison Avenue and got into our advertising.
Yeah.
In fact, a lot of former Nazis ended up populating all of the areas of U.S.
A lot of academia.
Academia, physics, advertising.
I think you might be overstating the Nazi contribution to American culture, not in the space race.
I celebrate it.
But there is an interesting parallel between the Epstein thing is a total eugenics thing, just like the Nazis. They were trying to build some sort of breeding colony in New Mexico.
that's right.
It was a full eugenics program.
And the New Mexico government district attorney is state district attorney is looking to open up a case against.
Yeah, they're now
that.
investigating Zorro Ranch, which is where
Which
that's what it was
also
called.
won
I love it.
$78 million.
He won the Powerball twice.
Yes,
I want to say,
and it was Zorro Ranch that actually was the ticket holder.
Whoa, what?
Epstein.
You guys are in so deep. Wait,
It's true.
Explain. No, talk to me.
Epstein
Explain this.
or
You can't just
Epstein
say it as a matter of
He's
fact.
still looking up okey doke.
Okay,
Epstein or Epstein Associates. I'm not sure how this worked exactly, but 1, 2 was a state lotteries, right?
Multi-million dollar?
Multi-million
Or like
dollar.
a dollar?
One of them was for $78 million, I think.
Yeah, one was for like 23 million.
Was he on that lottery dream home show?
Oh, I hope
Well,
the
it
lottery
brings
dream
you
show.
to this supposition where you start to wade into conspiracy land, but you can't help but think about how do people funnel large sums of money to people in ways that work around visibility or tracing the money.
Oh, I got this. I want to get this. I want to get this. I want to get this correct. He did not win twice. He won once. A trust connected to Jeffrey Epstein's New Mexico ranch collected a $29, which is what I thought, $1 million cash payout from an $85 million Powerball jackpot in 2008. Wow. Epstein won the fucking Powerball.
But won.
A year before
and he killed himself. But I'm just saying.
This is 2008.
This is 2008. Year right before he went to jail.
Right before he went to jail.
I used to work for a lawyer in the 90s. I was like a legal assistant. He had me go pick up a book for him. Yeah, Alan Dershowitz. And I had to go pick up a book for him, and it was he was like, it's an art book for a gift for a friend. And I forget who the photographer was, but I opened the book and was like, oh, and like shut the book.
It wasn't like a Maplethorpe or something like that.
No, this is the thing. It wasn't. It was nude children.
Hamilton, David Hamilton.
Yes.
Yeah, I think there's a very, there is a straight line between the kind of sexual liberation of, say, late 60s, 70s, Plato's Retreat, which kind of morphs into something much more class conscious in the 80s.
Yes.
And all of the nightclubs, like Palladium area, all of those nightclubs, you would go and see crazy activity in, like, whatever, which you at Studio 54 you'd see the same thing.
Yep.
By the time you get to the 90s, it becomes really rarefied.
Yes.
Right?
And it's at private homes.
Correct.
It's at estates, which is where I would cater,
Right.
and you start to, that's why like when Eyes Wide Shut came out,
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That like none of that was surprising to me.
Right.
And so it's interesting where Ghislaine ends up hiding, which is in Manchester by the Sea.
Right.
One of the wealthiest seafront properties and also a place where I went to high school right around there. Everyone knew about the rich families that would take their young kids, their daughters, to the islands for the holiday, and there would be nude pageants and all kinds of weird stuff that you'd hear about.
Yeah.
What?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I heard about 'em.
Exactly. So it's like it's crazy to me that people don't get that Epstein is just one.
Yes.
Of many people who are participating in this network.
Yeah.
Jodi and I are sharing a look like, what the hell?
I know.
I don't know any of this.
No. And I would say I was a young lady in the 90s and the 80s and also came from the East Coast and around affluent people. I guess we're sharing a look because it is shocking to hear.
Utterly shocking.
I
to
will
me.
say this. I repeatedly, and he was famous, Dershowitz, when I saw him, was famous for what was the book that he...
yes, Reversal of Fortune.
Yes. Sonny never liked doctors, that one.
Yes.
So...
Klaus Van Bülow.
Klaus Van Bülow. I would see him in the late 80s, early 90s on Martha's Vineyard on Lucy Vincent, which is a clothing optional beach. But he was always fucking buck-ass naked and hitting on teenage, 18. I'm going to say 18. I don't know how old they are, but they, young women.
As close to the edge.
As close to the edge
as
you could get. And you would always see from a distance, they'd be like, they up on their elbows, kind of looking at him, and he'd be kind of swaggering it. He was so disgusting that it was a joke, but at the same time, that whole world existed on Martha's Vineyard. That whole kind of the rich preying on islanders or young hot girls or whatever.
And the girls who worked the summers.
Yes,
I mean, that's
correct,
all of
correct.
all of us who are young worked the summers
Correct.
for the rich people at the resorts.
Correct.
And the stuff that happened
Correct.
was disturbing.
Correct. But was it
Right.
disturbing at the time, or did you think like, well, that's just
No, you just thought at the time you went, that's just what this
Exactly,
is. You didn't
exactly.
even consider that this was wrong.
right.
Right.
Because
everybody was acting like it was fine.
Correct.
Turn
Yeah.
the, turn the
correct.
Which
we
would explain-
talked.
I guess I was under the impression that, yes, there's a certain lasciviousness that occurs among the upper echelons, the way it occurs in every echelon, but I was not aware that there were these networks of sex trafficking from all over the world, bringing these girls in and leveraging that as
Leveraging.
blackmail and
That's what
extortion
I think
and
it's-
information trading.
I think it matriculated together over the course of decades. I think if you look at what Eisenhower's real warning was about the military-industrial complex, it was a military man from the civilian end of the military, right? From a guy who joined as a servant to the public-facing military, saying, post-war, we now have this espionage class. That's what he was warning about. And the balance between, will the espionage class end up overtaking the military, which it did after 9/11. And that's why someone recently talked about DHS and they're like, we need to reform DHS. It's like, no, get rid of it.
Yeah.
We didn't need it to begin
Correct.
with. Everybody knew back in 2001 this was a power
Correct.
grab,
Correct.
which is why when people talk about Trump and Noem and all these different things, they are symptoms. They are warts of a much larger, deeper infection.
100%. And that's why the Congress institutes we have to approve it every 4 years or whatever.
Yes.
Because everyone knew then this is too much.
Yes,
I
which
think-
is strange that a lot of post-Bushies
Yeah.
are now faces on MSNBC.
Yeah.
And there's sort of this whitewashing of all these people that we knew were toxic in the early, the early aughts, are now the voices of the resistance,
Right.
which means that we're seeing a little puppet show.
The network of trafficking is that's not the top line. It's a network of uber rich.
Yeah.
We're masters of the universe because we got to this. We're in the upper 0.00001% of income, so we must be fucking geniuses, and we can do whatever the fuck we want because we are of this category. There's that. Then there is the proclivity section, right, which is sex with minors and all those things, but also crimes like financial crimes, things like that. And that's this gray area that does fall into that espionage, governmental surveillance, a lot of stuff, and also just how you grease the wheels to do business, particularly like arms dealing and things like that. And then there is the hardcore, no, this is what I'm in for, and I'm going to use it against everyone else, the blackmail, which I think Epstein definitely did.
Oh, yeah.
And they all just communicate with each other like we're the normal ones. It's the fucking 99.99% of scum that are not normal.
Which is why I think Trump is so aggrieved by all of this, not because he didn't do anything, but because that
I was exonerated.
It was the way of the world, and I think in his mind still is the way of
This
the world.
is how it is. You give Twiggy a line, and then you take her to the back room on the seafood tower.
I'm never going to get enough of the stroke Trump. I'm never going to get
I
enough
know,
of it.
it's my favorite.
Even the face, where I know you can't see out of one eye, which I really like. So there's a depth perception.
It's just me. I'm upset because, listen, if you ever read Lolita, there were two pedophiles who were that's what Epstein and everyone's got it wrong. I wasn't his client. I was his competitor. And I think that's the truth. I think the real truth,
he had the modeling agents.
They were competitors.
Yeah.
And Epstein didn't like him because when we found our mention of the President's Show and the Epstein Files, it was Chopra sending our video about Inside Trump's Mind, which I purposely did like a Kubrick tribute and put like a bunch of Illuminati images in it because I wanted to see if someone on a Reddit thread would be like, the president shows Illuminati, just because I wanted to see what would happen. And they sent that over to Epstein.
Right.
They would send that there in the same way Roger Stone, when I met him, I don't think that they particularly like this guy.
No.
I think they like using him.
Yes, of course.
And I think that was where the divide happened with Epstein and Trump, and why whatever went down there with his arrest and all that is not kosher in the slightest.
Right.
Because
What do you
it's a
mean the arrest
competitor.
wasn't kosher?
I think that, it was kosher because he's a criminal, but I think that the reasons behind what happened were a directive because when does he die? 2019?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. So you're coming up to re-election.
Yep.
This guy is starting to get more and more antagonistic in those chains and the files. You can see
Yes.
they're writing back and forth and
Yeah.
talking more shit about Trump.
Right.
And
If you want to know him, you talk to me because I got all the goods on him.
Right. And so, there's this free and also, if you look at why I think I'll never understand why people are surprised by Trump or his reelection or whatever, but as the rats start leaving the ship, okay, as the pandemic happens and we get to January 6th, what you see is a revelation of who he really is in January 6th. It's not that it's that there were enough people holding him back or sort of containing his business so that you don't really see the true thing until basically he's lost and then he has his fit. And then 4 years of planning to make sure if he gets back in that you will not have any stopgap measures. So you're just seeing who we could have actually gotten in 2016.
Or in 2020.
Or in 2020. I've always felt it probably would have been better to have him get elected in 2020.
Just to have it burn
It
out.
would have I think it would have burned out. If we had to suffer this indignity,
Right.
we should have just suffered it the whole way through.
Right.
Now,
right.
I kind of want to get your larger worldview because I feel like you're even more paranoid than I am.
Yeah.
I am very paranoid.
What do you believe that the president, any president, is, for lack of a better term, in charge? Or do you think that there is some other shadow entity that exists?
I think it's not an either or. I think that the president is a public-facing policy presentation machine. His job is to present the complexities of this large machine that's the U.S. government, the most powerful government in the world, largest navy, nuclear weapons 10 times over,
Yep.
espionage in every single country that we can get our tendrils
In every
into.
aspect of society.
In every aspect of society, from media to music to whatever we affect. He's the face and in some ways the architect of the public-facing version of leadership. Behind that, I think you have a series of competing duplicitous interests, some positive, some negative, some believe they're positive but have negative results.
What's the positive version of duplicitousness?
Okay, I think you could have a duplicitous design to prevent a larger tragedy by creating a smaller one.
Right. Right.
And I think that that's not necessarily my belief system, but I think it's the belief system of folks who are moving world events. And then you have all the competing movers of world events, the Germans, the Israelis, the Russians, the Chinese, and they're all playing a very complex game with each other. And all those agencies are doing that sort of black market stuff while the ultra wealthy are essentially trading energy and weapons. And that's it.
Our worldviews are not so dissimilar. I think I largely agree with that. It seems
I agree with all of it, but the layer I put it on it.
And they worship Moloch.
well, yeah,
Yes,
that was
Moloch.
understood.
They're
That was understood.
given.
Baal and Moloch.
Is the times I have met this world, which is not often, but you go, oh, they're all fucking morons.
That's true, too. If there was a large, duplicitous deep state that was controlling things in a puppet string level where all our events were sort of, of design, why isn't it a better setup?
Right.
That's what never makes sense
Right,
to
of
me
course.
if that's true.
Of course.
When I say deep state, what I mean is exactly what I said, which is that level of bureaucracy
Yes,
of people who are there who are actually keeping things on
Track.
Exactly.
We need the deep state, and it's specifically why Trump et al. Were so hell bent on getting rid of the deep state, because it's those guardrails.
It gets in the way. It gets in the way.
It gets in their way. So they want to fire all these federal employees, which they've done. They want to replace them with loyalists, which they've done.
Trump's agenda is so simplified to begin with.
Right.
Because he's just, his
agenda is Trump.
But the agenda is also like, I'm a businessman. We should run like a business.
And I want to look good.
And I want to look good.
I want to look like the greatest leader. That's the real business.
But what they've picked up on and what they've sold is this idea of if you just run it like a business.
Right.
The way he's really successful.
Well,
No,
Republicans
he's not.
have been doing that forever. The
100
same way.
years.
The same way. You know Stephanie Kelton, right?
No.
So Stephanie Kelton is an economist who worked for Bernie, and she was a congressional budget
I love
officer.
her.
She's brilliant.
incredible.
Yeah.
And
Brilliant
her,
woman.
modern monetary theory, which posits that running deficits is.
I do
actually
know who
right.
this is. Yes.
Okay, so this idea of running the government as a business makes no sense
Of course
because
not.
that would be like saying you run the household, but you also produce the money in the household that buys the goods.
Well,
That's
for a
not-
while, Camel Cigarettes was producing Camel Bucks.
Oh,
So
we all had a sleeping bag.
yes, if
Camel
only
Bucks.
we were running the U.S. government like Camel
I
cigarettes.
loved my Camel Bucks.
I loved them.
I remember smoking so much I once passed out behind the wheel of my car driving on the 101.
There you
I
go.
smoked so
Yeah.
many cigarettes
Yeah.
in a row.
Your body finally quit.
You were trying to get the speedboat or something? You're trying to get the Camel speedboat.
Like 25 just smoking, and I went and was like this, and then woke up and went, oh my God. I was like, what
Yeah.
is that?
You were more pissed off that you missed Coenga.
The event that happened on Colbert last night is something that I just wanted to.
It's very
bring
interesting.
Up.
So Colbert booked this Texas. What's his current title? House rep.
He's running for
national senate.
Correct.
He booked Talarico on the Late Show, and then
Right.
and did the interview, and then CBS said you cannot air this interview
because Brendan Carr of the FCC
Right.
is trying to reinstate the
Equal time.
Fair,
thing.
yeah.
Which is a fiction.
Of course it's a fiction. Yeah.
It's not only a fiction, it's, I think, since 1983.
Yeah.
None of that is applicable.
It's not.
It's all only by, like, gentleman's handshake.
And by the
whatever.
way, it not being applicable is the reason that Rush Limbaugh and the entire right-wing
Yeah.
media empire percolated up
But
from
if you
the
remember
bowels of hell.
the old
Yes.
1970s Weekend Update with the Jane, You Ignorant Slut, the
Right.
counterpoint point, that was
That's
equal
where it came
time.
from.
Right.
That was
Right.
equal time. It was Leno doing Tonight Show where they ruled, no, he can have just anyone on.
Sorry.
They don't have to
Do
have
you do a
competing-
Leno?
I got burns all over my
Oddly enough-
body.
Thank you.
Oddly enough,
good.
also with a stroke.
Oh, yeah. All my characters have stroke. Wait. I've had a stroke.
You had a stroke.
I
Okay,
had a
now it
You
makes sense.
start at stroke. That's the baseline.
I had a stroke. Let me on fire.
Yeah, I
I
understand.
think I'm good.
The idea is both sides get equal time. That is the logic of it. Has not been in practice for 30
Decades,
40
No, there's
Yeah.
nothing enforceable. It's
No.
it's almost like an old wives' tale, but just everybody believes.
And also, by the way, it would only be enforceable to broadcast television. It's not
Yes.
Which
enforceable to
CBS
cable.
is.
Correct. But this is in the shadow. Let's not forget what's happening.
Yeah.
They are allowing Nexstar and Tegna or whatever the fuck
Right,
it is
right, Tegna.
to merge and make this massive, far exceeding the 39% of broadcast of television stations you're allowed to, markets you're allowed to broadcast and own, to I think 40, 55, 65%, and those companies are very right wing. And they do their news, and they're going to make one news fitting all these local shows.
a script for
a
everybody.
script for everyone, and it's going to be one message, and that's the way you control thought.
And then, of course, now it's turning into a big story. He put it up on YouTube, and it's going to get so much more attention,
of course.
as always.
I mean, this was just a punishment to Stephen. It was just a punishment.
Yeah.
And it was just showing who's in charge.
Yeah.
And also, in a way, a lot of this media is dying.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, the people who are going to be watching that 45% controlled have 20 years left, 10 years left.
Right.
Most people are not even consuming that.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So the cleaving, it's an interesting sort of hungry hippo that's happening right now of trying to gather up as much control as possible for one last push. See, to me, this is the dying of a beast, not the birth of one.
I agree with you.
And
Right.
so-
At a certain point, dinosaurs got so big that they could no longer feed themselves.
Right.
And then a meteor came and killed them.
Are you having a stroke? Did you say
did you-
dinosaurs?
Dinosaurs.
Are you? Yeah.
You okay?
I'm
Don't
trying
take my thing.
Guys,
to
guys.
appeal to the mid-America.
take my
Dinosaurs.
The
dinosaurs.
The dinosaurs are trying to go.
I think this is where we wrap it up, right?
When does the show start on iHeartRadio?
It'll be launching in mid to late March.
okay.
It's Good Science with RFK Jr. and Kyle Quim.
Thank you, Jodi Lennon. Thank you, Jim Biederman.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Anthony Atamanuik. And we'll be right back. We're going to play a game, a fun Have I Got News For You game with a member of the audience. All right, welcome back. Joining me now to play a game is a member of our studio audience. Hi, Kaitlyn.
Hi, it's nice to meet you.
Okay, so you're a graduate student at NYU,
Yes, I am, yeah.
and what are you studying?
I'm in the Communicative Sciences and Disorders program, so I'm studying to be a speech-language pathologist.
You're a huge comic book nerd. What do you collect? What are your comic books?
I really like my Teen Titans or Titans because grew up on the 2000s cartoon, and then from there got into comics, loved it. But before that, actually, huge fan of Spider-Man, so that's a big one. X-Men, and then from there it just kind of branched out to everything. So anything that looks good. I'm a horrible collector because I don't bother with, oh, this is like $1,000, it's cheap, something, get it now. I just, whatever I like and looks cool, I will buy. And
Would you say Teen Titans is your number one jam? Your number one comic book jam?
probably actually Teen Titans. I love the Titans, so that's fun. I really like the original group, and then the later ones too are pretty great. So
You are Canadian.
I am.
Where in Canada do you live?
Vancouver, Canada, actually.
Lovely. Great area. And when you're in Canada and you say, I'm studying in the United States of America, at this point, are your friends and family like, you're betraying us? You are a traitor? We had Scott Thompson on the show last week on Have I Got News For You, and he said the anger among Canadians towards Americans is real and palpable. Are you experiencing that?
I definitely see it in the news. I definitely know that people like that exist. I am fortunate enough to surround myself with individuals who do not hate a country based on their leadership. So if anything, if we do find something particularly egregious, if anything, we just feel a little bit of sympathy.
Oh,
for
that is so
those dealing
Canadian.
with it.
That is so Canadian of you. And that's why Americans can never be mad at Canadians.
Yeah, sorry, we're just, that's the, that's how we are.
All right, Kaitlyn, we're going to play a game, and the game is called Which is Higher. I'm going to give you two unrelated numbers, and all you have to do is determine which number is higher. Here we go. 2 weeks ago, the nation's most celebrated event that Kristi Noem isn't invited to, the Westminster Dog Show. Kristi Noem is, she killed the dog. I don't. As
I
Canadian,
do know
you
about
probably,
her.
Okay, you did know
Yeah.
that. All right. Over 3,000 dogs competed for Best in Show, which brings us to the question, which is higher? The number of years the Westminster Dog Show has existed, or the number of years the world's oldest land animal, Jonathan the tortoise, has been alive. So we're looking for the highest number of years the Westminster Dog Show has existed, or Jonathan the tortoise has been alive. What do you think?
That's going to be close.
Right?
That's going to be really close. Because I'm thinking both are, I'm going to ballpark like around 150.
Okay.
But I feel like we've been fucking with dogs for way longer. Can I say that?
Yeah, you can say anything, but
Okay, there we go.
But the way you phrased it was a little ribald, which is a word I just learned today.
Got
ribald.
it. Let's not use. Okay, I'll say that again.
Oh no, we're going to use it. Don't get me wrong, Kaitlyn.
Perfect. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to go with the Westminster Dog Show.
So, first of all, your instinct was very, very good in that the number of years the Westminster Dog Show has existed is 150 years, which is exactly what you said. Okay. So you get full marks for that. The number of years Jonathan the tortoise has been alive is 193. 193 years. So the number of years Jonathan has been alive is higher, although that's 1,351 in dog years. Pretty impressive, Jonathan the tortoise.
Okay. So he's seen every Westminster Dog Show.
Oh, I hadn't thought about that. What a sweet way to look at it. Jonathan the tortoise has been alive for every Westminster Dog Show.
Do you think he follows it like pretty intensely?
Here's a side quest trivia question for you.
Okay.
Do you know how much you win if you are best in show at the Westminster Dog Show? Winning dog receives how much at the Westminster Dog Show?
50,000.
It's a great guess. The correct answer, which I didn't know until this very moment, $0.
Oh, just pride.
You don't even get a lint brush to roll the dog hair off. You get nothing but bragging rights and presumably stud fees and breeding fees, right? Because if you're
fair enough,
that's probably
sense.
worth a lot of money. Well, Kaitlyn, thank you so much for playing. You did great.
Thank you for having me.
Let me ask you this, and there really is only one correct answer.
Okay.
Having been to Have I Got News for You, are you now a fan of Have I? That was the correct answer. You got it exactly right. So we will consider that a win today. You won. Kaitlyn, thank you so much.
Do I win something, or is this like the Westminster Dog Show?
This is, I would say it's better than the Westminster Dog Show because although you win nothing, you did not have to travel. You did not have to put on an outfit. You didn't have to buy a leash.
That's true.
None of that. So I would say you came out ahead. So congratulations.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Good luck with your studies. And please say nice things about us back in Canada. Thank you so much for joining me on Have I Got News for Your Ears. I'm your host, Michael Ian Black. I want to thank our guest, Anthony Atamanuik, and our HIGNFYE fan, Kaitlyn, for playing our game. Thank you to our co-hosts, Jim Biederman, Jodi Lennon. Thanks to all of you. We will see you next week on a brand new episode. Have I Got News for Your Ears releases new episodes every Wednesday. Don't miss an episode. Follow us on Apple Music, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcasts. Even better, watch the VODCAST on Spotify or on the Have I Got News for You YouTube channel. While there, you can follow us, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, you can join. Won't you join? Won't you subscribe? Won't you be a part of the Have I Got News for Your Ears family? We love you. Hey, don't forget to subscribe to the HIGNFYE YouTube channel and be sure to click the bell to stay on top of all our great content. Even better, become a member for exclusive content, early access to videos, members-only shoutouts, and more. Click the join button below.